Oh man, so another bloody day here in the market today, down 4% on Bitcoin, taking us down to 38,485 at the time of recording this video. Unfortunately, the pattern which I spoke about in my video a few days ago has played out. We're almost at the negative technical price target, right? I say negative because none of us want the price to go down, but it's really important that we watch these technical analysis. I'm going to show you what I think is going to happen next in Bitcoin. We're going to look at some of the macroeconomic factors as well, and we're going to see what are the next price levels that we can see as a potential pivot point for Bitcoin to start heading to the higher side. Do I see lower price targets? What's in store over the next few days? I'm going to give you my take, so make sure you hit subscribe, make sure you hit like, make sure you stay tuned to the very end because you won't want to miss any of these predictions like we did a couple of days ago. So let's head straight in the chart. And as you can see here on Bitcoin, if we go back to the daily chart, just to get good clarity on this, you will see on the daily, we were forming this M pattern. Now you can call it M pattern a double top pattern. Let's remove the EMA ribbon. It's this pattern right here. You run up, you come down, you run up, and you come down, okay? Now, if we just zoom in a little bit more, what I'm gonna show you is that the neckline was this level here. It was at 41,659, the yellow support resistance line we had drawn for a long time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna quickly link in the video right here. You'll remember, after we broke out from trend, which is this big red line, we made a good move. We consolidated a little bit of 41,659. This is gonna be important. You saw the rejection here, and you saw that we overcame that and we broke through with good strength, running all the way up to our initial rejection point at 45.5. We then got sent back down. Okay, this was partially due to the CPI data, which then threw us all the way down on this crazy day we had, followed by the Ukrainian tensions and the rest of the FUD which came in. Okay, we saw a bit of a rally and a break out of trend as we saw that things were starting to de-escalate as far as we heard, right, when Russia said they were removing troops, and then we've seen the reversal again, okay, another Uno reversal to the downside. But for the trained eye, what have we just formed? We formed an M pattern. Okay, we formed an M pattern with a lower high, which gives it good confidence because this high is higher than this high. Okay, so that gives it a good probability of success. And the M pattern is centered around this horizontal support that we've had drawn for a long time of 41,659. Now remember, M patterns are even more reliable, unfortunately, when we have a long-term support line, okay? So this long-term neckline, which is being used by the M pattern, is a long-term support which you've been using for a long time, okay? So if we lose this level here, and as you can see, what happened was exactly as we predicted. We created the neckline here at 41,659, and we did break to the downside. Now, my technical price target takes us all the way down to 37,475. Unfortunately, we can see here on the hourly chart, we've wicked as low as, let's take this candle here, that's our low candle. The low here is 38,000, okay? So there's more downside here from a technical perspective, but let's see if we can build support. As you can see, at each of the levels, as we started to fall from the important 41,659 mark, this was the neckline. We broke down, we tried to consolidate at our next support, which was the 40,000 psychological level. We hung there for a little while, and then when we break down from these key levels, the fall is very quick and sharp. Look at that fall there. It didn't even stop to consolidate at 39,150. It was a big, powerful move to the downside, and now it's trying to hang on at 38,405. That's our horizontal support here. Can we hold that level here on Bitcoin? If we don't, then what we need to do is start looking for more levels of support. And the next levels of support for us really, if we start zooming out, is we know we got the top of the wedge, which ties in with this horizontal support at 36,118. Okay, that's going to come in here. That's our level here for the next level of support. That will tie in with our violet wedge, which we've been monitoring for a long time, and it's also a horizontal level support. So that could have some good confidence. We can also see that the price held up pretty well here when we were recovering off the bottoms of our 32. But unfortunately, after that point, after 36, I do have to mention the 32 level, which is the point at which we rotated out. This is where things will get precarious again, okay, guys? If we start heading towards 32 again, and by the way, we've only got a couple of resistance levels before then. We've got this one here, 36,118, and then we've got the violet trend line here. After that, we're pretty much clear to run down to 32 again. There's not much support leading up to there on the daily chart. Now, if we get to 32, you'll remember that the nervy situation was last summer we ran as far as 29. we don't want to go below 32, because if we created 29 and then we created a higher low at 32, we got to rotate before 32. Really important. That way, even though it's a very, very slight uptrend, it is an uptrend, and it's not forming a sideways trend in Bitcoin or a macro downward trend. We do not want to see that happen. That would cause a lot of negative implications for Bitcoin on the weekly and daily chart. Now, an even more ideal situation than turning around before 32 is, can we get the rotation before this pivot point? You'll notice when we bounced off 32, we had a little bit of a retracement here. The low of that candle took us to the roughly 36,118 mark. Is the wick of this candle. I think it's exactly 36,259, right? Call it the 36 level. If we can rotate here at 36 and create a higher low before this pivot, which is what I've been saying the last few days, that would be an ideal situation, because we still keep our trend. We got 32, we got 36, and then if we could have like 37 or 37 and a half, we're still good to go with higher lows and continue to trend to the upside. But if we lose this pivot, then it becomes critical that we rotate before 32. Really important. So guys, make sure you're noting those levels down. Repeat this video if you need to, and write down those notes on a post-it note, stick it on your monitor, whatever you got to do. Now, what's going on in the wider macroeconomy? Because now we need to get the clues of saying, okay, we know our technicals. Let's now layer on top our fundamentals. Because when I showed you the M pattern, what did I do? When I linked that video up earlier here, I showed you the M pattern, but I entangled it with fundamentals. I spoke about the upwards part of the M curve and then the downwards, and what the macroeconomics were doing, the CPI, Ukraine tensions, how it was fluctuating the sentiment in the market. Now, what other channels are doing that for you guys? They'll show you the M pattern, because, you know, anybody can see a McDonald's sign on a chart, right? If you started TA today, you can do that. But you've got to blend the technicals. And when you blend the technicals with the fundamentals, then you get the perfect recipe to trade those kind of patterns. Or even if you're not trading, like I'm not trading that, but I know how I want to play my positions. I saw that retracement coming. Therefore, as I said in my videos, I alerted you guys to it. Some of you didn't like the titles of, you know, why is he saying this pattern is dangerous for Bitcoin? Oh my God. Because I'm not a moon boy, right? I'm not here to make videos to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what I see in the charts and the research I'm doing for myself. If you guys find that useful, watch it and act on it. Full stop. Right? If you don't find it useful, there's plenty of moon boys, and in fact, they get much more exposure where you can go and watch those videos. They'll show you the M pattern. They'll show you how to trade on 100x leverage, but they won't tell you why that pattern's forming. Okay, so when you get stopped out on a 100x position, just know that you had no conviction in that trade other than a pattern on a chart, which doesn't always work on its own, particularly for Bitcoin. Right, rant over. What are we seeing here? Well, Biden convenes the National Security Council on Ukraine crisis. In other words, there doesn't seem to be an easing right now. We're seeing more rhetoric. Rhetoric is really important. How does the market feel? What are the words we're seeing? What's the sentiment? Markets react on this. If we look at the pre-market here, the futures, 0.62 down on the Dow, 0.69 down on the S&P, and another 1.2 down on the Nasdaq. Pretty bad right here. Not looking great as tensions continue to roil the markets here. Let's look at the fear and greed index, and we've taken a really big fall here on the fear and greed index, now down to 27. Let's look at the yearly chart here. As you can see from the yearly chart here, we were at 52 on the 17th of Feb. In 3 days, we've fallen from 52 all the way down to 25, and that was because of the M pattern which we spoke about. Once we lost the support here at 41,612, the market is getting spooked now because they understand how precariously close we are, i.e. losing one more resistance level at 36,118 to retesting that 32, and that 32 is what made the market nervous. If you see here, when we hit 32 is on the 24th of January. If we check the fear and greed index on the 24th of January, there we go, we were on 13. Okay, so the market is going to start trending towards 13 on the fear and greed index the closer and closer we get to 32 on Bitcoin. And in fact, if we head down towards 32 again, I wouldn't be surprised if the market is even more fearful than the first time we went there, right? Because this time we cannot lose it. We cannot go below 32. Really important that we keep that trend to the upside. So overall, what are we seeing here on Bitcoin? For me, I'm preparing for further downside. People don't like it when I say that, but it's what we've got to do. We've got got to prepare for more downside. We've not got any signs of reversal yet. Our hopes to the upside, because this video has been mainly, preparing for downside. Our hopes to the upside is just that one of these horizontal supports hold up, right? Just as we bounce really strongly here, you saw off the top of the wedge here at about 37,208. Do we get support there? Do we get support from the level we're at now, which is 38,405? That could bounce us up to the upside. But the key thing is going to be macroeconomics. I mean, on Monday, we could open up with Russia saying we formally agree not to go to war, or the US kind of coming up to an agreement, or there's a mutual agreement that nothing's going to happen, there's going to be a de-escalation, and that's going to rally the markets, right? Because this is pricing in a lot of bad news right now. Not just CPI data and Fed data, but also the tensions around the war. It makes a difference. So the market is really roiled by this. It's on the back foot, and that's what's causing this to trend down. And it's not ideal right now because we were just breaking out very nicely from our long-term pattern here on Bitcoin. Let's just zoom out. We had our journey all the way down from 69 all the way down to 32. We broke out from trend. We looked like we were building up nice and strong. Then the CPI, then Russia, and it's just a false start after false start. And remember, guys, I made it very clear. False starts are going to be it's going to be the norm, right? Between now and March 16th. I continue to reiterate that for you guys. We will see false starts, but in those false starts, we'll continue to get opportunities to build out any positions which we still didn't get to the chance to build out. Or if you're new to crypto, yet again, another great opportunity for you to be buying in coins at prices we've not seen since 2021, right? These are crazy prices that, if you first entered crypto, I mean, look at how far back you're going here. You're getting crazy pricing all the way back here to 24th of July. Prices on some of these levels, right? So really important that you watch the video, which I'm going to link up at the end of this video on the end card screen. Watch that video because it shows you step by step how to think about your portfolio and how to structure your portfolio. That's really important because whenever these retracements happen, I'm using that video and the architecture I share with you there to go which parts of my portfolio are weak right now, which ones are underweight, which ones are overweight, and which ones do I need to top up. And I use that as the framework. So if Bitcoin retraces another, like it has just at now 4%, if we would lose our next resistance level, we start falling below 36, really then you want to start, not financial advice, loading up on some of the positions which you wanted to top up on, which you didn't get a chance to. This is where we do our work when the market is red. We let the others be the green candle disease people who chase the pumps and buy into green. Those are the ones who are getting liquidated. Like I said, about 400 million, I think it was, liquidated in the last 3 or 4 days. Leveraged longs. Absolute crazy, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and this blend between technicals and fundamentals here on Bitcoin over the weekend here on Sunday. As always, volumes are low. Be interested to see how the market opens up on Monday. What's in store for us this week? I'll be with you guys, no doubt, making daily uploads. So hit up the likes, hit subscribe. Don't forget to check out NordVPN, who've been kind enough to offer us 70% off of a VPN. That's 24 months. They actually throw a month in for free. 25 months for about $50. Absolute no-brainer. Works out like $2 or $3 a month. And you got yourself set up on a VPN. You've got your privacy in check. You can watch Netflix from different countries, shows from different countries. You can play games with people in different countries. Really useful to have a VPN, and definitely from a privacy perspective, if you're logging into exchanges and your wallets and just playing around with NFTs and the rest of it, or the metaverse, you need to have yourself set up on a VPN, guys. I personally use a VPN every single day, and NordVPN is the one I use, so perfectly comfortable recommending those guys to you. Coupon code OLDMAN, links in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.